guys, welcome back to Container Crops, the Scaredy Cat Gardener. I'm getting ready to show you how I am going to plant my watermelon seeds, starting them indoors right now. Okay guys, so I am getting ready to plant watermelon seeds, starting them indoors. I'm going to start them in this size container, and I'm going to be showing you how I'm starting my plants indoors. There are 100 ways that you can do it, and I'm sure that what I'm getting ready to show you is probably different than what you're accustomed to or have seen other people doing. But one thing I know for sure, you need to start with a good potting soil. What I'm getting ready to do is not even what I read, but it worked really well for me last year. Everything I started indoors grew. My problem last year was I didn't harvest it in time. Therefore, I'm going to start it again. This is the potting soil that I am using. It's an organic mix, and it is, let's see, can you all see that? It's called Just Natural. Just Natural. And I'll have a link to it down in the description as well. Hope you guys can see that. Working on a small space right here. So, and I have it has plenty of holes already. I got these things at the Goodwill for about 10 cents a piece. So you ain't got to spend a lot of money either. And I'm going to first just get me some soil out of here and put it into my container. I am not doing anything else. I'm not putting anything in the bottom of this container or at all. I'm not using any seed starter at all. So let me just scoop some of this out of here. Just putting it in my container. And I could have put a few rocks or leaves down at the bottom, but I didn't do that last year. So I'm just repeating the process and seeing if I can have even better success this year. So I'm literally going to fill this up here. This is all you got to do, guys. Simple, simple. But you have to start with a good potting soil mixer. You probably will need seed starter and other amendments. We're going to get this in here. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I'm putting a little bit more in here than you would imagine. Just a little bit more, and I'll show you why in just a second. That should be probably good because I still have to put some on top of that. Now, there are some large vine plants that you're really supposed to plant your seeds up on the top of a mound. So that's why you see me fill this up quite a bit. I'm going to create a mound in here just by pushing the dirt with my hands and then flattening the top a little bit, because the seeds are actually going to go in the middle on top of the mound. It doesn't have to be a big mound to start with, but then when you take them outside, when you're transplanting them, you're going to have to still make the same kind of mound. Okay, so that should be good enough. And what I'm going to do is I have just these seeds right here. This is sugar baby watermelon, so it's a smaller variety because when I transplant them, I'm not transplanting them in the ground. They're still going in a pot. So these are what they look like, just like they came out of a watermelon, except for they're all dried out. So I'm going to put about 6 seeds in here, 2 together right here on the top. Just hope you guys can see that. I'll zoom in a minute. 2 more over here. And you can put 6 to 8 per mound. I'm going to put 6 because you'll have to thin them out to 1. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to take my nice little scooper. And I'm going to gently cover them with some soil. I don't want them to move. And I need my mound to stay a mound. My mound to stay a mound. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. That's one thing, guys. Never plant your seeds when you're starting them very far down in the dirt. They only need to be 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch down. So this is good. I'm just covering them, and I'm going to press down lightly just to make sure that I still have them covered, and that I can add just a little bit more on top here. This is probably about 1/4 all total. Now, watermelon seeds in particular like heat. And another thing that I don't do that most people do, and it's everything that everybody is doing is fantabulous. What I am showing you all is what has worked for me. I have not used any grow lamps, and I'm not using any heaters. I'm using the heat from my house. And as to these watermelon seeds really need to be in heat maybe around 85, 90 degrees. Well, I'm not going to have my house that hot, obviously. We're not outside in the summer, obviously. So what I have found is a trick is when you water them with hot to very warm water. Then between that and the balance of the natural heat that I have indoors, because it is winter, that works just fine. I've done that last year and it worked just well. I actually did that too with an avocado plant. That thing grew out of this world, and it grew fast when I did that. So let me make sure I raise this up just a little bit so you guys, make sure you guys can see me, what I'm doing here. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so here's my water for now. Naturally, I'd have some other container. Now, another thing that I did with all my plants when I started them inside, I immediately started them with some fertilizer. So here you have it. This is what I'm using. There's another link down in my description. I've already shaken it up. The top is off loosely. I've already shaken it up. I'm only putting a couple of drops of this 511 in the water. Just a couple of drops. That's all I need. I don't need any more than that. So we're just going to put a few drops in here. That's enough. Just a few drops. That's all we need. Now we're going to give this a real good shake. Got to shake it up. Even though it was shook up in there, you have to still reshake it in your water. And as you can see, the water, just those few drops made this water cloudy. We'll be tracking the progress, guys, as we go along. We will be tracking the progress. Woohoo! And guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome in while I'm shaking this up really good. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Please remember to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, and leave me some comments. Have you planted watermelon seeds? How do you plant your seeds when you're starting them inside? Then we're going to gently, guys, gently water the plant. We have to gently water it because we don't want our seeds to move. We don't want our seeds to move in here. Go around the edges, get everything good and wet. And some people water it some before they put their seeds in. This just worked well for me, guys. So you know when something works, why change it? And I'm going to cover these seeds. Back up a little bit. I see that. Being on the mound, it's hard to keep them because it's not flat. It's hard to keep them. So if the soil moves a little bit in the very beginning, just cover it back up. Just cover it back up. And we're giving this a good watering for the first time. And then we'll keep them watered from here. Okay, now I'm going to go in again with just a little bit more soil, simply because my soil moved a little bit there. So I just want to make sure we're all good and covered. That's all I want to do. All good and covered there. Okay, guys, and that's pretty much it. So, thank you so much for coming, hanging out with me again. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Guys, thank you so much. And don't forget, Anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant. And I'll see you on the trail.